there's a science of achievement and an art of fulfillment. And so the science of achievement is it's a recipe. You're in the kitchen a lot. You have a recipe. It's very much, you put this much of everything in and it spits out the perfect product. And then art is more person by person. Everybody's a little bit different. The way that you actually get fulfilled is an art form. Like nobody has a recipe for it. Each person is going to be different. So the art of how you get fulfilled is going to be different. So for me, what I found really fulfilling was to help other people. And I think the majority of people that come through our doors and our community and that are out there on the planet are really driven by impact. Like they really want to help other people. It's not selfish. And so the challenge that I have a lot, Tony Robbins also has these 6 human needs. And so one of them is significance and one of them is contribution. And so the challenge that I have a lot of times is if people are driven by significance, that can come from a really negative place. That's kind of where I think you're going with some of this is that selfish piece. If it's to raise you up to be better than other people and feel significant, like you are so important, you are on top of the world, they owe you some sort of debt of something because of what you've done for them, then I think that's a really negative place to come from. And that's probably where most people see that word selfish fall into that significance. Now, if we talk about contribution and the things that we're doing, like the reason why you want to grow on social media, the reason why you want to get more well-known, the reason why you want to have a bigger following and more people who know you and know your name and talk about you in a positive light is because you want to contribute to their success and to the world. And that's you're driven by contribution. Contribution, a lot of times, this human need of contribution and growth can look like significance to you. So I struggle with this a lot of like, man, I really want to grow my YouTube channel. I want to grow my podcast. I want to grow our reach. I want to grow my Instagram following. I want to grow all that stuff. And sometimes I wrestle with, do you just want to be famous? Like, is it important to you that you have a big following? And when I talk to other people, and sometimes I have to have a coach of mine pull me back in and ground me too, and say, no, Bill, you're not driven by significance. You're driven by contribution. You know that if you have a bigger following, the more people will hear your message. And right now they're listening to the wrong message. They're being controlled by the wrong people. The wrong people are putting those things in their ears. You talked about Teenage Tycoon. One of the big reasons why we're doing this is not to make a ton of money. Making money, like you said, is great. It's a byproduct of the impact that we can make. However, I'm tired of the banks and Wall Street and the school systems and everybody else controlling our people, our kids, to create really good W-2 employees that don't know about finances so that they can charge them very heavy interest on their credit cards. They can invest with financial planners that are going to give them bad advice. They can go into the stock market and Wall Street and all the people that have tons and tons of money that are going to control us financially, so that we don't understand what's on our tax returns and those kind of things. So I want to make an impact and leave a legacy that says, hey, what if we can unlock some families to feel financially confident because we didn't get that when we were kids? So if we're driven off a contribution, not off a significance, then that's where I think that selfish term doesn't even come to play. And so if you're listening and you're like, yeah, I feel selfish sometimes because I want people to win, I want them to do well, and it makes me feel good, or when I'm giving at church, or when I'm giving at an event, or I give a charity money, then it makes me feel good. Like that's contribution. That's not significance. Significance would be you brag about everything that you do. You care so much about the person who runs that charity, just thinking that you're important, and not about the impact and the legacy and everything that it's doing. So I think that hopefully that explains it fairly well. I think those 2 human needs are a big challenge. People that are driven by significance, they really struggle in what you said, being selfish. But if you can look at it from a contribution side and a growth side, it's a total game changer to realize that's actually why you're doing what you're doing.